This is Breaking Down the Build, episode 3 with Bumpa. In this episode, I'm going to be going over my viewpoint and my opponent's viewpoint in this 1 versus 1 build battle. I'm going to show a little bit early just to give you guys a little context on how this fight started. I spotted this player on the top of the hill, and being the aggressive son of a bitch that I am, I decided I wanted to push him. He had already put like 1 bullet in me by now, so he knows where I am. But what I'm doing here is I'm just pushing forward underneath the hill so he can't get a clean angle on me. So I'm now building up the side close to the wall so he doesn't notice that I'm coming up. So I'm staying tight, so if he does look over the wall or over the edge of the cliff, he's not going to see me necessarily. And if he does, I'll have plenty of time to react and build to block his damage. So I have a launch pad, by the way, and right here I'm just getting to a spot where I can use the launch pad and aggressively push this guy. I see him standing on the edge and I know that I need to go now or he's going to see me here any second and he's going to be able to shoot my ramp and bring me down. Unfortunately though, I do not get high enough to go straight to the top of the mountain with him. Instead, you're going to see me swoop off to the left and land on his pre-built ramp. Takes some shots at me, does a little damage. I build a wall and build up. I'm sort of just double layering on his ramp now to give me a little bit more protection as I'm pushing up on this fight. I take high ground very quickly. He does not expect me to be this aggressive on him since he was already high ground and it was pretty well established of him since he was on the top of this hill. So I take high ground from him very quickly. Right here, I see him underneath my ramp. He built a floor to try and go off to the side. So what I do is I build a wall and I box him in order to keep him underneath me, and I go for the trap play. I pop a trap down and he is just out of reach of the trap. I should have put traps on both walls. I would have gotten the easy kill. This fight would have been over. Instead, he's able to hug the far left wall and get out of range of my spike trap and break out and continue the fight. He breaks out. Immediately, I aggressively jump on top of him, trying to put damage on him as quick as possible. And now right here, he's just aggressively and defensively throwing porta-forts to try and create some space between me and him. He manages to do so with a wall and a second porta-fort. And here I just shoot through his wall, thinking that I have a good enough health advantage and have put enough damage on him to panic him. I'm trying to aggressively push through him, but as soon as I realize that he's regained his composure and is ready to shoot back at me, which he did, inflicting damage on me, I decide that it is not worth to continue to push this fight aggressively, and I throw up a wall to create some space between me and him. He continues to aggressively push, he puts a wall down, and immediately I go right back for high ground. I'm looking for this player. I know he's underneath me somewhere because I saw his builds go off to the side around here. So I'm just waiting. I'm just establishing high ground and looking to see where he's going to make his counterplay at. I can see him through the metal. He's building ramps here. He sort of fumbles his ramp, as you can see, and he has to come around. What I should have done here is I should have stayed on top of my ramp. Let me go back a little bit. I should have stayed on top of this ramp right here and built walls around the side and blocked him as he tried to come up. Instead, I went for the aggressive shotgun play, and it didn't turn out in my favor. Instead, I give him easy high ground, and he builds over me. I almost actually get myself killed as well, because his ramp pushes me over the side, but luckily I'm able to catch myself as I'm falling over. I spin because I know that since I'm exposed and I don't have a second ramp on top of me to cover me as I go out, I need to turn and build walls to block damage as quickly as possible. Right here, when we watch this from his perspective, he should have been looking for damage. He should have been looking to shoot at me right here. But he wasn't, and he gives me enough of an opening that I can spin, regain my composure, and get back into this fight. 2 floors, and then immediately we go ramps out to the side to tunnel strat on him. The quick thing about tunnel stratting, you never want to go more than two tiles, 3 at the very most. You never want to push that limit. It gives the opponent too much time to shoot out your ramp, and you have to cover too much distance coming back the other way to get back to the structure and be safe over top the original pre-built area. And you may fall to your death if you go too far. You will most likely fall to your death if you go too far, because every block that you go outwards this way, you have to think that you have to spin and come back the exact same way to get back to the player if he's just spamming you out. So don't go too far. 2 blocks, 3 at most. Spin, continue your aggression back towards the other player that you're fighting. We go. I do 1 ramp too far accidentally, spin, get above him. He's doing the exact same thing that I got him with before, where he comes underneath me. I box him in really easily because he's coming right underneath my ramp. And right here, I'm trying to put a trap down, but I keep fumbling my keys, and I accidentally pressed the edit key. If this was from the original gameplay perspective, you'd be able to see that. But I actually tried to edit this wall. I had to back off before I could put the trap on. Right here, I get the traps on, and I edit. And when I get the trap on, I edit down on him so that I can do shotgun damage in combination with the trap in case he has enough damage or he has enough health to survive the trap. I drop behind him. He tries to ramp out because he's in a box and he just broke out, and I get the easy shot to the back of his head for the kill. And that is the end of the fight. Now let's watch that back from his perspective. And go. Alright, and here we are hopping on board with Disturbed. Big problem he makes here is he knows that he shot at me earlier. This is from the start where I showed you before. He knows that he shot at me earlier, so he knows that there's a player near his mountain. He should not be hard scoped on this player, looking for a shot, and completely neglecting his surroundings. So by the time that this guy even realizes I'm pushing him, I'm all the way up here, and he has no time to react by the time that I put my launch pad down and aggressively push to the top of this mountain. He goes for the no-scope, little SMG spam. I don't think he had an AR, but if he did, he should have used that. It's far more accurate. And right here, as soon as he sees me ramping like this, he needs to match my aggression. What he does instead is he runs over here thinking that he can get above me quicker than I'm going to get above him. And that's just not simply the case. He needs to throw walls down, get a ramp up, and start building above me immediately. See, he pushes forward, and here we get him in the first trap. He puts his floor down to try and ramp out. He goes off to the side, and bam, he's immediately met by my wall. Couple things here. He's going to shoot out the wall in front of him. That takes way longer than what he should have done, which is he should have edited the floor below him and dropped out of the structure. So he breaks out the wall instead of editing the floor and dropping. And then after he edits the floors and drops, he can use this. Oh my god, why am I all the way over here? Say he drops. He can put a ramp on this ramp like this and a ramp like this and double ramp out like that as soon as he drops. So he has a decent counterplay option at his fingertips, but he's not aware of this because he's probably not that used to getting boxed and trapped like this. So he breaks out, he falls, he's not able to catch himself on the floor to try and double ramp himself. So he's forced to take low ground, and as we saw before, I am currently above him and applying pressure. If I were him here, I might box myself in just to try and give myself some breathing room. Turtling is a very effective strat in this game, unless you're coming across players with C4, etc. Instead, he spams porta-forts to create some distance. I've never seen that before, but it kind of worked in this situation, so here we go. He's building to create distance. He goes for a shotgun shot on me, connects as I'm trying to aggress him. I don't get any counter damage on him. That was a good play by his part. But right here, it's basically a lost battle by trying to push through like this. If I'm him, I'm jumping and I'm building for high ground right now. I'm keeping that wall there, and I'm either going, I'm putting a ramp below me and going straight up, or I'm going off to the side with the tunnel method. Because even after he breaks the wall, he just replaces it anyways. So he should have just started the build fight and taken advantage of the head start that he had on gaining high ground. Goes off to the side here. He's sort of struggling to get his bearings. He's not double ramping out. He should have made sure he had a roof above him so he could double ramp, so that if I was above him, he wouldn't have taken free damage. But right now, if you remember from the fight that we saw from, or if we remember it from my perspective, I'm on the opposite side of the Porta Fort, and we are both going on opposite sides of the Porta Fort to gain high ground. So he does the spin. He's struggling a little bit to get up. He gets caught under his ramp, and he goes back around to get on top of his ramp. He should have gone with the flow and just continued the double ramp here, but if he did that, if he did do the double ramp here, he should have double ramped, and then as he's going up, put walls on his sides as he's coming up, because he knows that I have an angle on him right now on the left side. So he comes around, he hops on his ramp, he takes the high ground over me, and instead he takes high ground over me, but this is a mistake a lot of players make. He takes high ground over me and makes no effort to look for damage to shoot me after taking high ground. Instead, he continues to build up without ever actually looking to fight me. So now he's above me, and he's spent all this time not putting pressure on me that I've been able to calmly and easily do my double ramp and get around and beat him for high ground. And now I'm above. See, he looks for damage there, but he took the wrong time to look for damage. He should have been looking for damage here, when he doesn't need this ramp. He needs to be, he saw he ramped over me, he needs to be over the top looking for damage. Instead, he comes up here, builds up, and he's looking for damage here after he's already lost high ground. So he gets boxed in again. This is his wall, by the way. This is his wall, this front wall. And he breaks out of the wall instead of editing through it. If he had edited through it, he might not have gotten caught by me editing down, because I might have, say he edits like a triangle right here. He comes out the left side. This wall on the right side's blocking me. I have to run all the way to the left to shoot him. Instead, he breaks his own wall, builds the ramp, and I catch him as he's coming out, because along with the trap, he thought that I was just going to use the trap. Okay, apparently this game doesn't want to show it from my perspective. But along with the trap, I drop with the edit to come down behind this player and mop up this fight. Anyways, I hope you guys learned something from this. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Bumpa. You can also find me on Twitch. I stream every day, twitch.tv/Bumpa. And follow me on Twitter to stay up to date on when I'm going live, at TTVBumpa on Twitter. I will have links to all those in the comment or in the description below. I hope you guys all have a great day. I hope you learned something, and have a good one, boys. How did that trap not hit him?